Lamar Blakney, and listen, I have my boy with me today.
What's up? What's up, everybody? What's
All
up? How everybody's doing, man? I'm Shann Atkinson, better known as Reds.
Reds. Listen, we have a truly exciting episode today.
Yes.
We're still on exposing Project 2025. But listen,
Absolutely.
if you've been watching the show, you know how we come in.
Mind Changers International, changing lives for the better. Our vision is to be a transformative platform that exposes lies and reveals the truth. Mind Changers International, we on a mission, masking the falsehoods with every new edition. We're here to enlighten your mind with this vibration, expose the lies, speaking truth, normal conversations. Mind Changers International, we on a mission, masking the falsehoods.
Welcome back to Mind Changers Podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Lamar Blakney.
Yeah, man.
And I got my man.
Yeah, man. What's up, man? Shann Atkinson.
Yeah, listen, we got an exciting episode for y'all tonight.
Absolutely.
We're still dealing with this Project 2025 issue. It's getting crazy,
Part two,
Shann.
everybody. Part two of it all. Yep.
Listen, it's getting really challenging.
It is.
We're getting to a certain place in society where, Shann, more people are becoming more aware about Project 2025. So, Shann,
Absolutely.
Since this week has passed, tell me, how do you feel versus the first episode to now about Project 2025?
I feel it's if you've noticed, the MAGA party has ramped it up even more. I mean, they have, as it's been getting exposed and as they've been asking them questions and everything's been coming out, they just have doubled down on it. It's not, for a little bit there you had Trump was like, I don't know anything about it, and then all of a sudden now he does know something about it, and because he'll go. All his stops on his campaign trail, he's starting to mention it. He's starting to mention it a lot more as being something that they feel like they need as a guide into their next administration.
Yeah, and this week Donald Trump has actually unleashed some truths that we knew were true that he
Absolutely.
was not trying to expose. And so I got some notes, and I want to share some of these notes with you guys before we get deep into the program. So listen, like, subscribe. Basically, let us know you are liking the content that we have here on Mind Changers Podcast. So basically, 2025 is a blueprint for authoritarianism. And Project 2025 aims to transform the U.S. government by focusing on three major goals: centralizing power within the executive branch, restructuring federal agencies, and empowering. I told y'all have a speech impairment. You catch me every now and then, so I just got caught.
Right.
Empowering an executive authority. What you think about that, Shann?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everything you just said is the direction they're trying to go. They've been creating an enemy, multiple enemies for their base to hate. They've been creating multiple enemies to fearmonger and scare the other side and hopefully coming over to their side. They've been using divisive tactics. They've been using scare tactics to scare the rational voter into saying, well, I got too much to lose, so I feel like I may need to vote that. Their base, their voters that are all for them, they don't have to convince them of anything. They're ready to go. It's that rational voter that they're hoping they can fear monger into voting for him.
Yeah, and these changes that are going to take place if this Project 2025 is ever implemented is going to be catastrophic. When I say catastrophic, life as we know it today will never be the same. It will never be the same. And go, Shann.
Yeah, and I need people to understand something. And we have all the examples of all over the world since the beginning of time. Once democracy's lost, it's gone forever. You cannot get it back. Once you let that, well, no, I got to reel that in. You can get it back, but it takes a lot of time to get it back once you lose it. I mean, it's really tough. And I want people to understand, if you allow someone to come in and be a dictator, it's going to cause bloodshed, because democracy in itself is going to fight back. Democracy is going to want to fight back. And whenever you get a situation where you have a dictator, then you have generals that run the armed forces. Some generals are going to be for him. Some generals are going to be against him. And then you're going to have the American military fighting each other. And that is when it's going to get ugly. Once you have the militaries fighting each other in order to get back that democracy or to keep that dictatorship in power.
Absolutely. And, these concerns are real. And, the sad thing about it, Shann, there are people listening, hearing us talk about Project 2025, and they can care less. Yeah. They can care less. And that's,
I understand.
And that's weird for me. So
It is.
I tell you, we got a lot of crazy videos for y'all. A lot of crazy videos for y'all.
Yes, we do.
But let me know, Project 2025, these changes are intended, and they are intentional. They're intended to streamline governance and reduce bureaucracy. How can I say it? Enabling the branch of executive power to just take over. We're talking about a king. We're talking about this man wants to be president until he die.
That's right.
Until he die. And he says something in one of these videos. Shann, I'm going to play this video for you right quick.
Okay, go for it.
Again, Christians, get out and vote. Just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It'll be fixed. It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Now, did y'all hear what this fool said?
Yeah,
we'll have it fixed so good that you will not have to vote
again.
He's telling you right then and there that he's going to create something that has never been created in America, where one man will rule the whole country. And when I say he ruled the whole country, he's going to rule the military. He's going to rule the FC. There ain't going to be no FTC, FCC. There's not going to be any CDC, FDA. He is a deregulator. He's going to deregulate everything. And then he's going to regulate everything. And that's a dangerous power for one human being to have. And that's why government is structured so we won't get a president or a leader that can just do whatever he want to do. You know, the branches of government is set up to even regulate him, even though he's the president of the United States. But this is the clue, y'all. Executive orders come from the executive branch, and when they're signed, they go into power.
Absolutely. I need everybody to understand too, and I'm talking to all the people that want to vote for Trump, and I'm hoping you're listening. I hope you're out here listening. A dictator not only takes complete power, they also control the Federal Reserve. So imagine Trump, just like Putin. Putin is considered one of the richest men in the world because he has the entire national GOP behind him. Now imagine you give Trump the entire national GOP and that he controls all that money. So all your tax dollars will literally be going into his pocket. That is what dictators do. That is what they do. So if you're out there and you want to vote for Trump, and I need you to understand that you're literally going to give all your money over to this man. This is more than him just wanting to take power of this country. He wants to get that dollar too.
Yeah. And this will cause an erosion of our democratic principles, weakening all of the checks and balances, increasing potential for authoritarian practice. He wants to be an autocrat. He wants to be the man, almost like God. Almost like a god. He wants to rule this country so bad that he's willing to do whatever he has to do to get it. And Shann, I'm still trying to figure out. Now, I know a lot of friends who've been convicted of crimes.
Yeah.
Now, if you're convicted of 34 felonies,
right,
what's taking so long to hand down his sentence? Can somebody explain that to me?
Yeah, from what I understand, the Supreme Court ruling that gave him immunity inside of his scope of office has actually put the brakes on sentencing him, because now they have to interpret exactly what was done inside the scope of his office, and to the point to where they've got to get that figured out before they try to hand down his sentence. And all it's going to do is going to push it out even further to the point to where he's hoping and praying that he gets into the White House so that he can then get his attorney general to pardon him.
So basically, all he wants to do is have the centralization of power within his executive branch if he makes it into the White House. And what's the purpose of that? Streamline decision making, enhance agenda implications, and the key aspects to that is reducing congressional oversight. He don't want Congress to have a word in nothing he's saying. He wants to be that authoritarian that says, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. I don't care what they say. Can you imagine, people, listen, can you imagine having officers with immunity? They don't need a body cam no more. They are the judge, the jury, the court, everything. They are going to be, how can I put it, running wild. Officers gone wild. And listen.
They will mimic, believe it or not, they will mimic Nazis, Germany stormtroopers. Plain and simple, all day long.
And here's the thing. There are some good officers out there because I know a lot of them myself. I'm not speaking about you guys. I'm talking about the guys who know I'm talking about them.
Dude, those guys will run out the good guys. I promise you. They'll run them out.
Definitely. So we have another video. I think, Shann, you sent me this video. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm going to play this video
one. This one hits home for me.
Okay.
Today about interracial marriage and abortion.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical.
I'll stop it right there. He said hypocritical. Basically, if you, let's say, Shann, it will be against the law for you to marry outside of your ethnicity.
Absolutely.
When I tell you they are taking this to another level, y'all have no idea.
Comes to issues, you can't have it both ways. When you want that diversity to shine within our federal system, there are going to be rules and proceedings. They're going to be out of sync with maybe what other states would do. It's a beauty of the system, and that's where the differences among points of view in our 50 states ought to express themselves. And I'm not saying that rule would apply in to view.
That's crazy.
Absolutely.
That is really, really crazy.
Yeah.
When somebody has the power to tell you who you can marry.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely. I mean, yeah.
That's nationalism gone wrong right there. Shann, that's what they want to do. See, if you look at ethnicity now, the Caucasian race has diminished because their children are having children with our children, right? And the moment that happened, that child is labeled an African American. That's just what it is.
Until it suits them otherwise, because now all of a sudden Kamala Harris is Indian.
Yeah, listen.
Oh, she's not black; she's Indian.
No.
When it suits them. When it suits them.
Shann, she did run as an Indian. And first, she did run as an Indian. And
well, she can though. She absolutely can, because she is
sides.
a mixed race. She's a mixed race. It does not. She enjoys to be able to be what and who she wants to be, plain and simple.
But Donald Trump's like, first of all, I'm trying to figure out, first she was Indian and now she's black. You know, I'm just trying to figure out when she became black. Donald Trump, boy, that guy.
That is so out of touch. That is so out of touch.
It is. You know,
I want you to play back, because there's something I want to.
Okay, you want me to go back to that?
Play that video again, right? And because there's something I want everybody to hear.
Okay, all right.
Today about interracial marriage and abortion.
So you would be okay with the Supreme Court leaving the question of interracial marriage to the states?
Yes, I think that that's something that if you're not wanting the Supreme Court to weigh in on issues like that, you're not going to be able to have your cake and eat it too. I think that's hypocritical. When it comes to issues, you can't have it both
everybody
ways.
Listen right here.
When you want that diversity to shine within our federal system, there are going to be rules and proceedings. They're going to be out of sync with maybe what other states would do. It's a beauty of the system, and that's where the differences among points of view in our 50 states ought to express themselves. And I'm not saying that rule would apply in to view.
All right, now I want you to just listen to how he romanticized the fact that, you know, we have this great government that can rule on things and whatnot. This is a human rights thing. Government should have nothing to do with telling anybody who they can and cannot marry. And I will completely stand on it all day long, even to the point if a man wants to marry a man or a woman wants to marry a woman. If that's what they want to do, we have to allow that. We have to allow that. And there's no reason why anybody should tell somebody that they cannot marry inside interracial marriage. There's no reason whatsoever. Laws are meant to protect you from hurting others. From hurting others. These laws, these are not hurting anyone. Nobody's getting hurt. So there's no way you should have romanticized the fact that we have this great government that allows us to have difference of opinion and that we could step in and we can put a stop to it. No, that was wrong.
And then he said something else, Shann. He said they're going to have proceedings. When he said proceedings, that means that you're going to have to take this in the form of litigation to a court who does not agree with it. Exactly. And they are the ones who are going to enforce this law.
Absolutely.
They're going to enforce this law. And like I said on the last podcast, we're not supposed to vote for character. We're supposed to vote policy. Policy is the things that affect life infect life and can cause us to live in misery or in harmony.
Yeah,
this
absolutely.
2025 Project 2025, that's what it's designed to do, to reduce congressional oversight. That's what it wants to do, and this will increase control over the agencies. The president will rule over the agencies, and greater presidential control ensures that he will rule the federal agencies, all of his administrations. He's going to take over everything. He's trying to be the next Vladimir Putin, and I don't say his name right because I don't want to. Right? That's what he's trying to do. That's why he is so cool. You know what? I don't have a problem with Vladimir Putin. He's such a nice guy. I think, we have the wrong idea about Vladimir Putin. No, we don't.
We don't. No. It is a well-known fact that this man is as evil as they come. This man murders anybody that says anything about it. He has murdered so many of his political adversaries, it's not even funny.
And here's another thing, Sean. With 2025, Project 2025 in place, you will not be able to speak against your government in public. You better do it in private. If somebody hears you, you will be prosecuted. Not only that, Donald Trump intends to prosecute every person in Congress, no matter who they were in the branches of government. He wants to persecute them and prosecute them the moment he signs that executive order that says Project 2025 is now law. And if y'all want that, go get it.
Yeah.
But y'all gonna be the main ones whining and crying when you can't feed your kids, when your job don't matter, when there's no income enough to handle the taxation that they're going to drop on us. And then they're going to tell you when to go to work, how long to stay at work. We're not going to pay you no overtime. Oh, workman's comp? Oh, it's over with.
Absolutely.
Over with. No more unions. It's over.
And I want everybody, and I need everybody to hear this also. And this is something that I've kind of read between the lines, and I want to get your take on it, Lamar.
Okay.
We've heard this whole thing where he was saying black jobs. He keeps using this term black jobs.
Yes.
And if everybody saw the his forum that he was on today with the black journalists of and how he doubled down on black jobs, and then when they asked him, well, what exactly is a black job? Now, I want everybody to go back. Let's rewind the clock a little bit. He wants to deport 1 million undocumented people a month, right? He wants to get rid of those. And he made the statement. Now, hear me out now. He made the statement that these people, these undocumented individuals, are taking away black jobs. Now, what I want you to know is these undocumented workers are doing all the service stuff. They're doing all the field stuff. They're doing a lot of the garbage pickup. They're doing a lot of stuff that keeps the grind, the wheels turning, the things that need to be done to keep the wheels turning. Now, if 1 million of these 1 million a month are going out and he gets rid of all of them, who's going to do those jobs? Who's going to do the service jobs? Who's going to pick up the trash? Who's going to get out in the field and pick our food? Who's going to do the stuff that a lot of Americans just don't want to do? What he's trying to say is, Lamar, you're going to do that job. You're the one that's going to do that job. Because he didn't say white jobs. He didn't say white jobs. He didn't say you're going to lose. He's taking white jobs. He said he's taking black jobs. And he wants to get rid of the individuals that are doing those jobs. So, Lamar, what he's trying to say is, sir, that you're going to be doing that job.
Yeah, I know that's what he's trying to say. And basically, guess what? He's going to be right. Because when you are put in a position you have to survive, you will do whatever you need to do to survive. And for all those folks who doesn't even make the level of income for him to even be your president are going to be the ones who's going to be working in the fields, because I don't like to call them undocumented immigrants. They are Native Americans. This is their country. We are the immigrants. This is their country.
Okay.
They do those jobs with pride.
They do.
They go out and they pick these vegetables and they pick the corn and they do all of these different things that we won't do.
That's right.
So that we can survive. And Donald Trump knows that. So he says, you know what? How can I get black people back in the field? You know what? Let me take the people who is doing the job they used to do away, and now we're going to suppress them. We're going to suppress them so bad that they're going to have to go in the fields. Because I'm going to tell y'all, if they're not out there, ain't no need to go in the grocery store. What you going to buy? The produce section is over with. What are you going to buy? This Project 2025 is real. It's ungodly. It is not what we as a people in America. That's why we ran from the Queen and the King to come over here.
That's right.
Just so we can have freedom. Now, there are people, Shann, who will argue that we're still not free. But I can tell you this. We ain't like we were before we got over here.
Yeah.
At all.
I see what you're saying.
At all. So, yeah, we don't have some freedoms, but we have freedom. Enough freedom that people in other countries would love to be in our position. Listen, these Native Americans, they're coming over the borders. I mean, they are so desperate to get here. You know, Shann, we have children. You have to be desperate where you say, take my child, and you don't know what's going to happen to him. But you say, what's back here is worse than what's over there. So I'm going to send my child over there and pray for the best.
That's right.
Come on, people.
Well, now, and there's something too, Americans, that my fellow Americans, that we have to look at. The problems that are, a lot of the problems that are taking place in South America are for our doing. Our drug appetite in this country has created these cartels in South America that these hardworking people just can't live around. They're getting murdered by these individuals. Their families are getting raped by these individuals. It's America's drug appetite that caused these problems. And there's another point I want to come up with. And I'm going to go down. I'm going to actually go down the rabbit hole here. And if I get too deep, Lamar, you can pull me out.
All right.
All right. Now, I want everybody to understand something. Let's go back to where we were talking about the undocumented or the Native Americans, as you said, are gone. And now those jobs have to be filled with black Americans. Also, too, I want you guys to understand something. We're on the cusp of AI. AI is going to get rid of a lot of jobs that we do today. A lot of jobs that get done. That job pool, as the years tick by and as these AIs get smarter and smarter, they're going to start taking away jobs. The job pool is going to be very, very thin. And if you don't have an education to where you can be in these higher level positions, there's going to be nowhere for you to work. And we are having an education problem here in this country. We're definitely having an education problem in this country. And we have to start looking at our children, and we have to get them educated. Because if we don't, and Trump becomes president, there's going to be nowhere else for anybody that doesn't live in his tax bracket to go but service jobs and field jobs and custodian and stuff. That's only you're going to be, because the job pool is going to be so small, because AI is just going to continue to eat these jobs up, because corporate America wants to get away from a human person, and they would love for a robot to do our job. So I want everybody to think about that. I mean, this gets deep. We got to also look down the road at what this 2025 can open up and usher in to make everybody's life difficult.
And Shann, let's talk about that AI a little more. So the guy who created ChatGPT, who worked for Google, actually quit because he realized he created a monster. He tried to tell them, listen, this is going to destroy us. Even Elon Musk was like, they were being irresponsible with it. I mean, even he is coming up with his own AI, but still, like you said, Shann, McDonald's now are making their stores fully automated. See, they have a plan. If we take jobs away from people, I don't care what color you are, they will be forced into the system that we're trying to create with Project 2025. They will be forced to survive. When fight or flight comes in, you either gonna run or you gonna fight. And I'm telling you, y'all need to listen. This is serious. This is past serious. This is life threatening. We have to go out and vote. We're not voting against Donald Trump. We're voting against Project 2025.
Absolutely.
That's what we're voting against. That policy is not for us. I mean, they're going to eliminate and merge our federal government and replace them with loyalists. Shann, people who are not even educated to be able to fulfill that job, but because they're loyal to the dictatorship of that president, they will be in that job. Nothing gets done right because they're not even qualified.
That's right.
And all these federal workers who has voted for Donald Trump in the past, you have a decision to make. This November, we all have a decision to make because God gave us dominion over this earth. Some things you have to take action. With prayer, you have to take action. And Shann, Congressman Presley, man, she's all over it. I love this woman. She is amazing. I'm going to share this video and then we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
The MAGA Republican Project 2025 agenda in clear, quick detail. And everyone
this is not the one.
And we must sound the alarm. Project 2025 is a far-right manifesto. It is a 1,000-page bucket list of extremist policies that would uproot every government agency and disrupt the lives of every person who calls this country home.
Okay, I paused it there. She said it's a bucket list. A bucket list.
That's right.
She went through that manifesto with great specificity. She knows everything they're plotting to do. So I'm going to take it back because I want her to say it again.
All right.
MAGA Republican Project 2025 agenda in clear, quick detail. And everyone should watch.
And we must sound the alarm. Project 2025 is a far-right manifesto. It is a 1,000-page bucket list of extremist policies that would uproot every government agency and disrupt the lives of every person who calls this country home. I won't detail every aspect, but I'll share some highlights. The Department of Education would be eliminated, cutting students off from civil rights protections and ending essential Title I funding for K through 12 schools. The Department of Justice would go on a murdering spree. It would rush to use the death penalty and expand its use to even more people while circumventing due process protections. Project 25 not only calls for national book bans in schools, but also creates a list of banned words for the federal government that would be deleted from, quote, every federal rule, agency regulation, contract, grant, and piece of legislation that exists. End quote. Here are just a few of the words on the list: diversity, gender, reproductive health, and of course, conservatives want to ban the word abortion. On that note, abortion care would be inaccessible and illegal no matter where you live. Take it from them. On page 6 of its playbook, Project 2025 states, quote, the Dobbs decision is just the beginning, end quote. People, even in my district, the Massachusetts 7th, a leader in repro justice, would be criminalized for pursuing essential health care. Now, we could have an entire hearing on how these policies would quite literally ruin and end lives. And I didn't even touch upon proposals for housing, climate change, worker protections, and more. If enacted, Project 2025 would destroy the federal government as we know it.
Listen, we could really drop the mic right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
She said some amazing things concerning Project 2025. And I'm telling y'all, we have to get on board with what's going on. Now, she said a lot. The Department of Education, she said a lot. I mean,
diversity, taking out diversity. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. It's a regulatory overhaul, right? The reduction of regulations. That's what it is. The reduction of regulation. Listen, we're on the stem of being a third world country. Being a third world country. When we can allow a president to implement policies so quick and fast, he's going to do this within the first 90 days to 120 days. His little white fingers are just going to be signed. Hey, give me that executive order. I want to sign it. He's going to listen.
That's right.
We got to wake up.
We do.
Subscribe to this channel. Listen, y'all need to be sharing this video. We're bringing some real facts because that's why we play these videos. So you know that what we're talking about, when it's not going off at the mouth, we know what we've studied, and they have an agenda. And Shann, here's the problem. You know why the insurrection took place?
What's that?
Because they needed Donald Trump to stay in power. They finished this in 2022. If he had stayed in power,
we would already be
and
there. We would already be
there in 2022 when the Heritage Foundation finished this Project 2025 manifesto.
That's right.
He would have enacted it, and it would have been nothing we could have done. But by the grace of God, the grace of God, he allowed Biden to win, and that's why Donald Trump was so upset about losing, because he knew that the Heritage Foundation was working on a plan. They just couldn't get it done fast enough.
Yep. Hey, you could probably say it was Mike Pence that saved our democracy. Plain and simple.
Wow.
Mike Pence saved our democracy because all he had to do was contest the election, and Trump would have been stayed in power, and then they could have implemented this stuff, and we would be here right now. So, as crazy as it sounds, we were this close. We were this close to losing it all, and Mike Pence, he did save the day. I will give him credit. He saved the day.
Yeah. So should we give Mike Pence a round of applause? Right. That's my mouth's not working, man. We're going to get that to Mike Pence because he saved us, man. So listen, Congressman Presley, she's on fire about this Project 2025. So Shann, in studying Project 2025 in this last month, man, it's so much, people, in this manifesto that you would spend 6 months really trying to divulge it, to undress it, to pull the onion apart, to see what's actually in the center of this manifesto. It's scary. It's unhumane. It highlights so many different things about empowering executive authority, right? And so he wants to get in another time, just one more time, so he can ensure a swift implementation of derivatives. That's what he wants to do. Increase the use of his executive power so that he can die as a president and pass it on to his son.
Yeah, absolutely. Pass it on to his son. Keep it in the family like a monarch. Absolutely.
That's what he's trying to do. That's why he wants to be this autocrat. That's what he wants to do. Let's go to this next video, Shann.
Okay. Very deep within Project 2025, which any person who sends their child to public school should care about. They want to mandate that all students in schools receiving federal funding must complete the Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery. In plain English, that's a military entrance exam. If you flip to page 134 of the 900-page Project 2025 manifesto, you'll read this proposal, and I quote, "To improve military recruiters' access to secondary schools and require the completion of the Armed Services and Vocational Aptitude Battery, the military entrance examination, by all students in schools that receive federal funding."
Wow.
That's crazy.
So,
That's crazy.
Your kids, our kids, will be forced to be in the military. Why would you take an exam for the military if you don't have no plans of creating a draft that will allow our children to be forced into the military? Because the military numbers are dropping tremendously.
They are as low as they've ever been.
Yeah,
They've
never been that low. Never has been that low. And so we're basically going to become like a Nazi Germany, right? The consolidation of power. Hitler's rise involved dismantling democratic institutions and centralizing power, right? And he did that through the Act of 1933. He did that, restructuring institutions. His regime aligned governmental agencies with ideology goals, purging non-loyal officials. Donald Trump is trying to do an executive purge. Purge this country of us.
Yeah.
Purge this country of people who are not wealthy, people who don't matter to them.
That's right.
That's what he wants to do.
That's what he wants.
And that's what Hitler did. Hitler did the same thing when he centralized power.
That's right.
Got rid of all of the governmental components that kept a leader in check.
Absolutely.
That's what he wanted to do. And if you want to vote for Donald Trump, that's what you do. But guess what? You're going to be right in the field with us. You're going to be right there.
It's crazy. It's crazy. I definitely try to wrap my head around why anybody would want Donald Trump as the commander-in-chief of the United States, because it's very apparent on what he wants. It's not even hidden anymore. It's very apparent. And the individuals that really want him in at the White House, they do everything they can to defend everything he says. Because I've got it's kind of funny. I've got a really good friend, and if you're watching this out there, hey, how you doing? I'm not going to call you out or anything. But I've got a good friend who is a stark Trump supporter. He really is. And we actually debate this all the time. Me and him debate this all the time. And whenever we talk about it, he does everything he can to defend everything that he says. And when you bring up these situations about him wanting to be a dictator and wanting absolute power, he just chalks it up as rhetoric. Like, well, he'll never do that. He's just saying that, but he'll never do that. Well, how can you then, if you believe that, then how can you support a man that is actually lying to you? If you say, well, he's just lying, he's not going to do that for real. But then in the same breath, Biden lies about everything. Well, you're okay with Trump lying, but you're not okay with Biden lying. So it just blows my mind. So I think I boiled it down to this. And white men in this country, the majority of white men in this country have to be in control. They feel like they have to be in control, and they feel that control slipping away. They absolutely feel that control slipping away. You've got so many people that don't look like them that are absolutely climbing success. They're very successful, and you've got a demographic that I don't think white men in this country ever saw coming, and that is the successful black woman. There's a lot of black women out here that are super, super successful, that are running companies, that are CEOs, that are top line executives. I see this in my own company that I work for. I've seen a lot of the white men retire, and they are bringing in black women to do these jobs, and I have got to tell you, they are turning this company around. Absolutely. They're getting in there, and they are turning things around, and they are making things happen. And white men in this country are super, super intimidated by that. They're intimidated by the fact that these women are coming in and they are getting it done. And they are so scared because they know this. They see it. They see the evidence of it, and there's like, oh my God, what if this black woman gets into the country and turns it around? We'll never be able to fight this fight anymore. It'll be over. We'll be done. We'll have no more rhetoric. We'll have no more things we can say that black people are inferior and they can't get it done. And that's what they're scared of. They are scared that she's going to get in and she's going to get it done and she's going to turn us around, and then their whole argument will be gone.
Well, they don't want to take orders from a woman. I've been taking orders for a woman all my life, my mama and my wife.
I got you.
I've been taking orders all my life. Now, make no mistake about it. I am the man of my house. But it's something about the way a woman thinks, Sean, how they process. They don't even see things our way. They see the whole picture. We see the front of the picture, but they see the size of the frame. They see what is hanging on. We just looking at, well, that's a nice picture. She says, well, it's a nice picture, but look at the frame. You know what? That frame got a crack in it. You're like, oh, I didn't notice that.
That's right. That's right.
Our opposites are not opposite. They're just as powerful or even more powerful than we are. I know there's some man right now cringing. No, listen, women rule this world. Take them out. Dude. See how we survive.
Dude, I mean, there are 20, I looked this up. There are 24 sovereign nations currently right now that have a woman running the country. I mean, they've already done that. They've been there. They're making it work. I mean, we're over here and we can't even conceive it. It makes no sense.
But check this out, Sean. All those white men, their wives running the household. She's balancing the checkbook. She's making sure the kids ready. She is a manager. You hear me?
Yeah.
She can manage anything better than we can.
That's right.
That's just what it is.
That's right.
I've seen it. My wife manages everything in the house because I'm not good with certain things. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But people, listen to us. We're bringing this information to you not because we just want to be talking out the side of our neck. Listen, we are headed for Nazi Germany, a Soviet Union. Because Stalin, he centralized authority and he eliminated political opposition through purging and show trials.
Yes,
we're going to have some show trials. I'm telling you, people are going to be executed because they're going to fight. But how can you fight against a government that
absolutely
has all of the firepower, all of the resources? We don't have tanks. We don't have planes. We don't have missiles. Yes, we bear arms, but let me tell you, the kind of arms they bear is different than the kind of arms we bear.
Yeah, man. Dude,
well,
it's a BB gun compared
you think
to what
you got an AR till they come up with shells that big coming out of a gun.
Yeah.
That'll make your AR look like a tic tac.
Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell something. Everybody out there, all the Second Amendment people that believe in all that. Your weapon is good for one thing and one thing only, and that's to kill your neighbor. Period. That is all
that's deep, Sean.
It is good for.
That's
is
deep,
to
Sean.
Kill your neighbor. That is it. You're not going to do anything to the military whatsoever. I can promise you. You can get 10 SEAL Team 6 guys, and 10 of those guys could kill 500 of us without even blinking an eye.
That's
without
true.
even blinking. They won't even break a sweat. They could kill 500 of us without even breaking a sweat.
But you know what? Vote for Donald Trump and see how life be after that. And I'm going to tell you, he is afraid to debate Kamala Harris. He cannot defeat her in a debate.
He just said today, just before this podcast release, that he said, "Bring it on! I'm gonna debate you." So he did put his toe in the ring. He did put his toe in the ring.
Yeah, he put his pinky toe in there.
Yeah,
but you will find out, because
Yeah.
all he's going to do, and we already know his rhetoric. He's going to try to degrade her. He's not going to talk policy. He's going to talk about she being an Indian or she black. He's going to talk about what Joe didn't do. But guess what? We got some of our people back today because of Joe. Joe ain't that old.
Right.
We got some people back into this country.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, man.
Yeah, we got people. We got people who was held hostage in another country, and only God knows how they were treated.
That's right. That's right. Absolutely. Got them back. Thank you, Joe, for getting them back, man.
Yeah,
here's the thing. And here's the thing, everybody. It doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on right now. You should be celebrating that these people are back. You should absolutely be. And if you're just so hateful that it's like, Joe did it, so I don't care, then you're a problem. You're a problem.
So, Sean,
you're a problem.
Let's give Joe a hand and applause.
Absolutely.
Come on, Joe. Joe ain't that old.
Yeah, man.
All right, so listen, we got another video that we're going to play, and I'm going to hit it right here.
Complains about how the Biden administration has been fighting for racial equity. On the next page, it calls for eliminating data collection on race and ethnicity in employment. On the page after that, it calls for rescinding an executive order signed in 1965 that prohibits discrimination in hiring by contractors. Mr. Berry, do these terrible ideas sound familiar?
They're great ideas.
These terrible ideas sound familiar? Of course they do. You came up with them. Mr. Berry.
He's so proud of that.
Listen.
He's so proud of that.
He's that guy that walk by you in a restaurant, and if you can read his mind, you probably would jump on him. But
I know.
I'm going to rewind this because he was very proud.
Oh, he was smart.
All the atrocious things that she said about this manifesto that he created, certain section of it.
Complains about how the Biden administration has been fighting for racial equity. On the next page, it calls for eliminating data collection on race and ethnicity in employment. On the page after that, it calls for rescinding an executive order signed in 19...
Data collection. That means that, and I don't want to stop it there, Sean. That means that we won't be able to keep up with, are they hiring too many Caucasians, less blacks? Are they putting too many people of ethnic groups in front of this people? When you eliminate that data, that means we won't be able to keep up with the race or the race card being played. So let me go back, Sean. I had to say that.
Absolutely. Because it
calls
was
for
kind of
eliminating
unclear.
Yeah.
It was kind of unclear right there. Absolutely.
Yeah, that data. That's what she's talking about. The data that we use to say, hey, you're hiring 90% of Caucasians and your company only have 10% of African Americans.
Right.
That's horrible.
Yes. The Biden administration has been fighting for racial equity. On the next page, it calls for eliminating data collection on race and ethnicity in employment. On the page after that, it calls for rescinding an executive order signed in 1965 that prohibits discrimination in hiring by contractors. Mr. Berry,
Okay. She's saying so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
They want to go back and overturn something that was created to protect our ethnicity when it comes to employment.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely.
That's crazy. And
they want to take they want to take it back. They want to take it back to the 50s. I mean, the 50s and 60s. This is nothing more than Jim Crow reincarnated. Period. It's Jim Crow reincarnated is what it is. And we as a country are so much better when there is racial equality. We are so much better than when we give everybody the opportunity to do the job. We give you the opportunity to do the job. And you have a lot of people that this word gets thrown around a lot. DEI, this word DEI gets thrown around so much. It's the new the new word that the MAGA party wants to use. We need to make sure that there is a level playing field, so that if you are qualified for the job, you should be able to do the job. And here's the thing: you are qualified to do the job. This does not put unqualified people into these jobs. You are absolutely qualified to do the job. It just so happens that you are splitting your workforce to black, white, Hispanic, Asian, because they are qualified to do the job, and now your workforce looks diverse. There's nothing wrong with that. Stop being scared of that. Nobody's giving anybody a job that is not qualified for.
That's right.
I know for a fact there's a lot of these people, that those individuals right there that say that this should be gone. I work with their nephews. I work with their sons. A lot of these people are idiots and they have no business doing the job. But they're given the job because somebody in the company lets them do it. And you're like, how did you get this job? Dude, you don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you're okay with doing that. You're okay with giving them a job. But you're not okay with making sure that the playing field is level so that you can have a diverse workforce and they're all qualified. Period.
Yeah. That's the good old boy system. The good old boy system is that, hey, John, listen, I need a position filled. What's your son Johnny doing? Or he's doing nothing. Well, bring Johnny over here. And then I'll let the guy that I ain't going to hire train him.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, that happens. Happens all the time.
The implementation of Project 25 is going to include a lot of potential risks to the democratic principles of accountability. We have to vote. Listen, share this podcast. Share it. Let people know. We bringing some information before you, and you don't even have to read the whole thing. We just grabbing bits and pieces. Thank God to these videos where people like Congressman Presley and other folks are just putting great content out there for us to be able to have the right conversation and protect the balance of power. We have to fight for our democracy. If we don't, it ain't gonna be nothing left.
That's right. It's
not gonna be anything left.
And people have to understand all these oversights were put into place because of bad actors. And the people that we voted in are the ones that put these safeguards in place. These are not the boogeyman that knocks at night. These regulations are not the boogeyman. These regulations are to keep all these bad actors in check, and they have to stay in place. Now, I do admit that some of the stuff does overreach. There are some agencies that do overreach. I get that. And I'm okay with examining that, reevaluating that, and maybe stripping some power from certain agencies. I'm okay with that. Like the IRS. I can't stand you. I can't stand the IRS. But no, I love you guys. But definitely, I'm okay with maybe rolling back some powers that some agencies have. But we cannot just blanketly just strip them. We can't do that. We can't do that.
And like I say, some agencies need to be regulated a little closely. Like our police departments. We got some great men in blue.
We do.
But one person,
men and women, absolutely.
One bad act make everybody say the whole thing is bad. Everybody there is not bad.
That's true.
That's true. I don't agree with that. We do have some bad apples, but they need to have a better hiring process. So, we want to thank y'all because this Project 2025 is keeping me up at night. I don't know about you, Shann, but it's keeping me up at night because if we don't vote, vote, and I'm telling you, what makes me mad about voters, they only vote every 4 years. We have elections in our city that are more important than the presidential election.
More important. Way more important.
Our DA, our congressmen, our all of these officials, we have to be voters that vote even in the small elections, which are big elections.
Absolutely.
Learn about
your local official. I'm gonna put it this way: you will never ever get a audience with the president of the United States ever. You'll never get an audience with that with whoever that is. But you will find yourself maybe one day in front of your DA, in front of your judge, in front of your city councilman. So you better pay close attention on who those individuals are, because those are the ones that can literally make policies that'll change your life.
That's right.
Make policies that put you in jail. Make policies that will fine you for this, fine you for that. Make policies that will tax the fool out of you. So even if once we win this and we get this Project 2025 gone, I want you to then start putting your eyesight on your local administration and really understanding who you guys are putting in those seats.
Yeah, and remember, y'all, the president don't run your state. It starts from the governor down. He doesn't run your state. But the way Donald Trump is going to do it, he's going to run the country and the state. Something that's never been done.
Yes.
Never been done, where a president is ruling a state. It don't matter who's your governor, because it ain't. If he's eliminating all of these regulatory positions, who to say we're gonna have a governor?
Dude, there's something I need to jump in right quick. Hold on a second. I mean, you're absolutely right. They want to put their people in power at the state level so that he can run the state. And I'm going to show you the evidence of this. Okay. Kamala Harris is trying to pick her VP, okay? And she's got her short list of VPs that she wants. But a lot of the VPs, like Gavin Newsom, VP out of Pennsylvania, Roy Cooper out of North Carolina, they're on the short list. But they had to turn her down because they knew if they took over that their lieutenant governor would take over, and their lieutenant governors are in the Magna Party. So she is literally getting gimped on who she can choose as her VP. She's being gimped on who she can choose as her VP because our governors are fighting so hard for us that they don't want to walk away and let the Magna Party immediately take over their government. Their state.
You know, Sean, I didn't think about that. You're exactly right. 90% of these lieutenant governors in a Democratic state are Republicans.
Republican.
They are Republicans. And that is crazy.
So it's really hurting her VP pick right now.
Listen, please, y'all, share this podcast because we want y'all to be educated. We don't know everything, so that's why we only talk about what we do know. But Sean and I, we're doing some research. We're going to bring you some more videos. And listen, we want y'all to pay attention to what you don't pay attention to. Sean, take them out, sir.
Absolutely. And you may not like Kamala Harris. You may not like her policies. That's fine. But you better put some respect on her name and stop saying mean things to her. You hear me? Stop saying mean things to that woman.
Respect on her name. Listen, y'all know how we do, right? We told y'all.
We told y'all. We came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told y'all. We bring in biblical principles of factual truth. We told y'all. We came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told y'all. We bring in biblical principles of factual truth. We told y'all. Yeah, we did. We told y'all. Yeah, we did. We told y'all. We came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told